Good afternoon. I'd like to call to order the City of Murfreesboro Historic Zoning Commission. Today we do have a quorum, so that has been determined. Amelia, do we have any public comments?
We did not have anybody sign up for public comments.
Okay, thank you. We need to approve the minutes of the regular meeting on November 18th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. And Ashley, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Backlund?
Aye.
Ms. Bolden?
Aye.
Ms. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Busey?
Aye.
Vice Chair Belcher?
Aye. At this time, our new business. Amelia, would you like to get us started with that?
I will. We are picking up off of a deferred project from the last meeting that we had in November. This is at 746 East Main Street. It's Jonathan Harmon is requesting review for exterior window replacements at his single-family beautiful home on East Main Street, excuse me. And it's located along the south side of East Main Street between Hancock Street and South Bilbro. The property contains 0.454 acres and is developed with a single-family dwelling. The property is zoned RS-15, Local Historic Zoning Overlay District, and the CCO District. It is a colonial-style, revival-style house constructed approximately 1930s. At the November 2025 meeting, HCZ deferred a request by Mr. Harmon to replace lower rectangular windows on the front dormers and the side gable windows with Window World vinyl windows. Commission requested that the applicant explore options to possibly repair the windows, the historic wood windows, and the applicant, Mr. Mike Chevis with Chevis Construct LLC, is here today representing Mr. Harmon and is requesting a review for replacing the windows with a Pella Reserve double-hung window with tempered glass and full screens for the lower rectangular windows on the front dormers and the east and west side gables windows. You received all of the information on this product and pictures of the house in your agenda, and the applicant is available to answer any questions you all may have today.
Good afternoon.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Mike Chavis here.
Would you like to tell us about what you've brought today, the example, and what you're proposing, please?
So the first thing that I would direct y'all to is the scope list that I've handed out prior to the meeting. That is the list of action items that would need to happen in order to rebuild and restore the 4 lower windows. One thing that is not on this list, we are missing 1 lower sash. We've looked everywhere. We think that it got damaged when the prior contractor was there. But that's missing from this list altogether, excuse me. So without the sash, I can't really rebuild it. Or restore it. That would be a total rebuild.
You'd have to replicate it.
I would have to replicate it, yes. So as you can see, it's a pretty detailed list. I didn't go to each and every action, but you got at the bottom of the list in the right-hand column, the bottom there is about 789 man hours. So multiply that by a range of between $37.50 and $42 a man hour, and that's what you would have in these windows. That's what the customer would have in these windows. What he wouldn't have would be a lifetime warranty, code, a product that meets codes, and a product that is energy efficient. And what we would like to replace it with, an example of that is in front of the podium. That is a full wood window Lowy argon, double pane, Pella window. And it's, again, wood inside and out. This is not a clad product that we're proposing.
Mr. Chevis, I believe in the past, was this called a Pella traditional wood casement
No,
window?
ma'am, this one's a double hung. The casements open out, they hinge on the side.
Okay, because I know we have had those before.
But this is a double hung where the sashes, both sashes move.
So would the panes be like what's there now? I think you said
We
something about
would
the panes,
divide the light
the divided light.
just like it is now. Yes, that is correct.
Okay,
I think it's a 10/1 configuration.
okay. I know this window is a sample, the overall size, what are we talking about overall size variation? Is there much difference in the two? The overall
Difference as compared to the example?
To what we have there now and what you've been installing. I know the example is different than what you're
Oh,
installing.
sure.
And the overall size of what's there now. Are we
It will be pretty close to the same size, yes.
pretty close to an eighth of an inch, pretty close to a foot?
Pretty close by, let's say, 2 inches,
Okay,
yes. In width, the height would be roughly the same.
okay.
And that's with the putty glaze?
Excuse
I
me?
can't tell- It has the putty glaze.
This does not.
The sample does not, but what you propose does?
What, no, the Pella windows that I proposed are not putty glazed either.
I thought that's what it said on the detailed spec.
I had to pull some stuff because I was only given the black and white detailed, so I added some stuff and that might be a couple things in there that aren't correct.
Okay,
Which one? Which page?
so I'm sorry, I'm just getting caught up so I know. This page,
Yeah, so
Okay,
what's
okay.
on that page is what we're proposing, yes. So that one says putty glazed,
it
then,
does,
yes. Then it would be, yes.
okay,
That would
thank
be,
you. That's important detail.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions?
Well, I'm a lot to cover here. So is your firm doing all the man-hours here, or are you working with others to perform the functions that are necessary?
that would be my team with some other people, yes.
Okay,
Yeah, we would have to find the glass, which we have found a manufacturer that has this glass, but it's pretty, I think we've talked about this before, it's pretty expensive
Yeah, and
to
I'm
find that
familiar with
glass.
some of those. The glass, and just bear with me because I'm looking from the ground and looking up. The divided lights in the upper portion of the sash appear to have all the glass intact. So I presume, but you can't tell from there, and I'm sure you've given it an assessment. What is the condition of the putty work that's there? Is that, the glass looks like it's there. You don't have to replace it other than the big single pane. Is that correct? Or what's
No,
your?
there are some broken panes in the upper sashes yet. I know in the upper right dormer,
Mm-hmm.
there's at least one broken pane of glass in that.
Okay.
And then on the, I think it's the west side, there might be 2 that are cracked
Okay.
on that.
What are the conditions of the muntins that divide those lights? Because I'm less concerned about, you can replace, and in fact, you could replace with tempered glass, the single pane on the lower half. It wouldn't necessarily have to be historic glass. But on the smaller panes, what the condition in general is of the window sash in your assessment?
The window sash needs quite a bit of work.
Okay.
It's beaten up, just because of its age. There's big chips and scratches in a lot of the sash. The muntins, looks like they've been sandblasted,
Really?
yes, but with not the right pellets, yes.
So they're just distressed?
They are very distressed, yes.
And is the putty intact, or is the putty
No, it's coming off in big chunks.
Okay, because I couldn't tell just what had been painted, and sometimes folks just paint over the glass, so it kind of looks like it's
Sure,
there.
yeah.
In some cases, you've got cracking putty glaze, sometimes there's none there at all, and I don't know whether it's easily removed or if it's a product that's been used that makes it difficult to remove. And whether you've been able
So
to
it-
assess that or not, I don't know.
As far as I can tell, there's not a whole lot of caulk on the
Okay.
panes. That's where we usually run into trouble if somebody's tried to caulk them.
Yes,
The putty that's on there, it would all need to go and be redone, yes.
Mike, if I'm going back to this sheet, what was the hourly rate you said that would be applied to these
So
799
if you
hours?
multiply that by, let's just say 3750, which is
Okay.
for this type of work, that's kind of a low man-hour rate on the
Okay.
low end of the scale. But you come up with about $25,000.
I'm coming up with about 29, so you're saying,
Yes.
I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, I want to understand. This, you're saying to repair, to try to repair these windows, you're looking at about 30,000 per window?
That's for the whole set.
The whole
Yeah,
set,
yeah,
okay, okay.
so the
Yes.
3,000 plus or minus, is that for the top and bottom sash of a single window?
That's for the top and bottom sash of
So
the
you
single
have
window.
3,000 times 4, so 12,000 plus or minus. Am I wrong?
No, 20, if you multiply 789 times 3750, you get to about 30,000.
So that's each, so it's
It's about $7,000 a
a
window.
window, so this is per half of a sash. This is like the top sash is this amount man-hours and the same amount of man-hours for the lower half of the sash
No, this is per window unit,
per window unit.
yeah.
I don't come up with the same numbers then.
So the 29 is the estimate to repair the full?
That is an estimate, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and in comparison, the Pella windows that would look like the one that's right in front of me here,
Yeah,
those would be about 17,000. And come with a lifetime warranty and meet energy code and building code.
To make sure I'm clear, can you explain how this is different from what you had proposed for the dormers last time? Or is it not different?
Yeah, so when I was here in the last meeting, we proposed the Window World vinyl windows.
Okay, so that's the difference in
That's the difference,
Window
yes.
World as opposed to now presenting the Pella
Pella.
option? Okay.
Yes.
They were vinyl windows, and
Right.
these would be wood
Okay,
windows.
that's what I thought. I wanted to make sure I wasn't misremembering.
Yeah, the half rounds in this version that's in front of me here, those have already been approved.
Yeah, right.
So the half
right.
rounds going above these windows, yes.
Gotcha.
Okay, any other questions?
it's just informative for us, and I appreciate you giving us this level of detail, because my concern was, what resources do we have in Middle Tennessee to do this work, since the goal is to restore wherever possible? So I appreciate that you've put this level of detail in front of us so that we can better understand. And I'm also encouraged if in fact there's talented folks like yourself and people that work for you that can do the work. It's just a question of significance of a particular window, because sometimes a window in a house can be character defining. I mean, like something that absolutely must be restored. And I don't know what resources we have here to do it, so that's a good thing. We also want to encourage people to do the right thing in terms of when we do have to replace, that we use the right product. So I also appreciate that you guys have put together a proposal on something that is close to a replacement of an authentic-looking window. It is at the top of the building. It's not like first floor, you know, it's higher up. And some are on more secondary sides. So those are things that also were important to consider. Another thought that I had was, if they ended up with a replacement, one option would be to preserve, to carefully remove, protect, and to store the original windows that you might replace, because those could be really valuable materials. If you had like a catastrophic window failure somewhere else, you know, a tree limb comes down and hits a window. If you can't normally find those materials, would that be something that we should be looking at to say, when we do have to remove something, do we save it, protect it?
Yeah, I can't speak for all homeowners or
Yeah.
general contractors, but it is our intention to save the old windows and possibly even integrate them into the interior design.
Okay. Because finding the old growth wood, particularly of that length that isn't finger jointed together, can be challenging. But on the other hand, there's a lot of demolition work that goes on outside of historic districts, but are still old houses of this period, where if there's a way of, some sort of a development of a resource that allows people to say, this is a place you can go to get materials in order to get it remilled, replaned, made into, like if you had to completely construct a new sash, that you could do that. And if you have 3 panes of glass that are broken, where can you go to get glass that's going to be the same? And conceivably, these panes would match what's elsewhere in the building because of the similar kind of configuration.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
In our experience, the most difficult thing to do on
Mm-hmm.
rebuilding these types of windows is finding the metal track that goes on the frame of the window and the sashes slide on them.
Do they ever end up just making non-operable, fixed? Because most people don't open their windows anyway.
We've done that before, is make the top sash inoperable and
Yes.
just replace the track on the bottom sash.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's good.
The weights can be tricky sometimes because you've got to have just the right weight
Are
for those windows.
True. Are
Yes.
those still there? Are they in the pocket, or were those operable to begin with? The ones
So
in
the
the dormer?
dormer windows were not operable as they should be. So there's no room in the dormers for a weight cavity.
Yeah, you had a note down here that it looked like it was properly, not properly portaled. It was built into the frame, so it's like fixed
Yes.
sash in the opening, so it has the appearance of operability, but not the functionality.
That's one of the issues with the
Okay.
2 dormer windows, yes.
Okay. But the ones on the gable ends were weighted pulley systems that at one point in time.
Well, at one point, I can't say that we even have all the weights for those.
Yeah. Sometimes they're just collapsed and they're in the pocket. They're just there.
Well, we've exposed the whole pocket and we've not found
Well,
them
they're,
at
you know more
all.
about it than I, for
Yeah.
sure. Okay.
Yeah, so, yeah, finding the weights for these would be challenging, to say the least.
They have to balance.
Okay, any more questions or comments? All right, do we have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the solution presented today with the Pella windows for the 4 lower portion of the dormers on the top floor.
And the gable ends.
It's 2 dormers and 2 gable ends, 4 windows total.
That's correct. Yes, thanks, Mike.
Correct.
A second.
Can we make it conditional on saving those original windows?
I don't,
I'm just, is that a possibility? I'm just inquiring.
I don't believe that that is discussed in the design guidelines.
Probably not.
So I don't believe that we can make it
Okay.
conditioned upon them
I'm still
saving
learning,
them.
so that's why I
Yeah.
asked.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think we can.
Okay. It sounded as though you were intending to do so, but perhaps repurposing them in some other ways.
It is our intention to repurpose them in another way, yes. Not just throwing them out.
Thank you.
Would
Yes.
the repurposing would be not visible from the street, it would be interior, you're saying?
It would, if we repurpose them in this house, then it would be in the interior, so no, it would not be visible from the outside.
It would be fantastic if it could be stored at this house in the event that at some point in time it was needed, it could be there. I realize we can't make it conditional, but that would just be a recommendation, even if it's behind a knee wall or it's in a storage area, it's just those resources become.
We'll take that under consideration.
If I were the homeowner, I would want to do that, just because what if something happens, then where am I in the next situation? I have a replacement glass. I have some replacement muttons that could be put in place. I think that would be advisable. An opinion.
What if I could find a use for them at another historic?
That would be better than in the landfill, I'm just saying, from the standpoint of the owner's perspective.
Yes.
It would be nice to have some things that you held back, just like you do with tile for a floor or anything else. Say, something happens, I've got something here to use. Just a thought.
Okay, thank you. I think we had a motion and a second. Can we please have roll call?
Mr. Backlund,
Aye.
Ms. Bolden,
Aye.
Ms. Brown,
Aye.
Mr. Busey,
Aye.
Vice Chair Belcher.
Aye. Okay, motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
And at this time, do we have any staff reports?
We do not have any staff reports at this time. I did not have any administrative approvals between the last meeting and this meeting. I did want to say I apologize. I have not yet been able to get to set a meeting for us to get together, possibly at the airport for a meeting to discuss the design guidelines. Hopefully, I will be able to get to that real soon.
Okay, thank you. And with that, how about, do we need a motion to adjourn, or may we adjourn?
I don't believe a motion is strictly necessary.
I don't think so either, but just to make sure.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
at this point in time, our meeting is adjourned. You know how to do this?
Go.